Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee with Lisa. I'm Spiritual Coach Lisa Hopp. It is Sunday, March 22nd, 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you so much. For those of you who listen every week, thank you for your support, for your feedback, for your suggestions. It just makes me very happy and grateful. I'm so very grateful for all of you. Thank you. And for those of you new to this podcast, welcome. I'm glad you found it. Please be sure to check out my website for the work that I do at lisahopp.com. I'm also on Facebook under, I believe it is Lisa M. Hopp, Spiritual Coach and Medium. I'm on Instagram under Spiritual Coach Lisa Hopp, and I'm on TikTok under Lisa M. Hopp. So thank you. And I'm going to get right to the topic this week. Now, for those of you who are new, you will hear a fan in the background because I like the heat on. And eventually I'll like the cool on too. But it's how I want to be. So thank you for understanding that. The topic this week is when your departed loved ones are quiet. And I do this work of helping my clients to feel connection to heaven, to feel their loved ones, to hear from their loved ones. And I hear this quite a bit. I don't recognize their signs all the time. I don't perceive them. I wish I could more, even if I perceive them. And believe me, I understand that because I have departed loved ones too. And I wish that they were more around me at times. But you know what, this week I'm going through a time, and in a very brief moment, I felt energy around the top of my head, like comfort, almost like a spiritual hand was touching me, and it was timely. And so that's really, that timeliness is what I want to talk about. You see, all of heaven, whether it's your departed loved one or your angels, spirit guides, God source, masters like Jesus, they require of us sometimes to go through this life feeling alone. It really falls under the thought that heaven helps those who help themselves. Sometimes we have to take action. Sometimes we have to take that step. We have to walk in faith. So while we're never alone, never, there's always a guide, an angel, at least one, perhaps two, a departed loved one right next to us. We all have an entourage of some degree. It is required at times that we feel we are alone in the desert. Much like Jesus felt alone in the wilderness during, these times, the 40 days, the 40 nights. When he had a moment where he felt alone, when he was on the cross. We all have to have those moments. So why, you ask? Why do we have to have that loud silence around us? Because it builds resilience. It builds qualities. It also, as I said before, allows us to take a step rather than having heaven do everything for us. We have to often take the step. And the step is really listening to what our gut tells us to do and following the signs. So I've been going through a bit of a wilderness time myself. And it's always, let's just say you never want it. You never want to feel like nothing's happening on your behalf, or that you might be all alone, even though I know I'm not. To not feel any signs, to not receive communication. Now I pause there because I do have the ability, since I arrived on this earth, to have the communication. I either hear dialogue, or I become very aware of signs. Signs can be numbers. They can be bumper stickers and license plates in front of you. For your loved ones, they can be various kinds of wings. They can be money signs, electricity acting up around you, electronics acting up around you. So there's very much common signs that our departed loved ones can use. Angels like to use the white feathers at times because their energy can look like wings, so they like to use wings in their own way. And so these do happen to every single one of us, whether we believe or perceive it or not. But sometimes when we most want the signs, as I said, they're not there. I'm like, where are you? I need you the most right now. And so this week, it went on too long. I have to be honest with you, it went on too long. And so I sat down. And what I do, and you can do this too, by the way, and I am going to be loading online self-taught courses to help you to connect to your angels and your guides. And meditations, all that's coming. It's just a matter of recording it and loading. And so I do have the ability, and as you do too, to connect to the other side. And what I do is I call upon my team, and I have different categories of team, as you all have specialty guides. You have your departed loved ones. They are human souls. They still, for the most part, have their personalities, but they also have the gift of heaven. They're in unconditional love, immeasurable love. And so they do, how can I put this? They're more chill. They don't worry anymore. They don't get upset. They don't have the emotions, the stress that they had on earth. They can step back and say, it's going to be all right. And they know for us, they feel us and hear us in every way, but they know for us, all the potential paths. And no matter what, we're going to be okay. So they come around with that knowing and a big smile on their face. And our guides are teachers. And they have specialties, as I went to say. And the specialties are usually your career financial area, your health area, your relationship area. It can even be guides for your happiness, your joy. They kind of know how to break you up. But you can also ask for particular categories. And we have varying amounts. And right now, I'll share with you that I had 41 guides in the wealth guide area, which covers the career area, anything financial, anything of manifestation with wealth, anything that covers that area. I had 41, but I was told, believe it was yesterday or the day before, I now have 48. Now that's just on one category. Okay. And that number is significant because it really is heavenly help with the abundance number of 8, and kind of makes sense. And so I welcome them. So what I do, and I have health, I have relationship, I have varying degrees. So what I'll do is I'll call in my team. I have personal development guides too for myself that aren't tied to wealth. So when I want to ask a question, or just want to know in the morning when I wake up what they like to say to me, I do have the ability to make that connection. But I tell you that you can do that as well. And you can do that with your departed loved ones. So I sit down and I usually will wave my hand around like I'm circling. And I'll say, will you join me? Are you available to join me right now? Now I'll tell you that it's generally a yes, because they're generally always available for us. Not always departed loved ones, particular ones, because they may be with somebody else on earth, but our guides are at our disposal. But I show respect. Are you available? Will you please come around me? And then sometimes I have a question, and I always wear the question with what, why, how. But sometimes I'll say to them, what would you like me to know today? Now, when you do this, you may hear a voice. You may get a feeling. You may get a flash of a picture. You may suddenly want to sing a song. They know how to communicate with you. If you get nothing, it may be that you are a little bit blocked, that you've thickened that wall a little bit between, but don't give up, because it's when you get things when you least expect them. When you do kind of say, I don't know how this is going to go, but let's try it. And they don't give up on communicating with you, and they do like to come in threes. So you may feel you get nothing when you try to communicate, and then later that day you get 3 signs all at once in like a very short amount of time. And so that's very important not to give up, because you have the right to have that connection. You have the right to have that gift. It is yours. Heaven is wanting us to communicate with them. They want that two-way bridge. And we so often block them by our emotions, by our thoughts getting in the way, by our just giving up, our lack of patience perhaps. So keep at it. So I do that, and it helps tremendously. And this week, when the silence was quite loud, when the volume was up, I called them around me, my guides. And a voice said to me, you're being tested now. Just that's exactly how they put it. And I went, yes. And I need some counsel. And so I felt that they gave it to me. Now, how do I know it's them, and how do you know it's them? Your imagination works. Your mind, I mean. And I don't mean your imagination it creates. I mean, if you're making it up, you can hear your voice when it's them. But when you're making it up, you can feel yourself generating the next sentence. You know it's you kind of thing. It's in your head. I know it's them because I'm receiving it. My brain, I shut it down. And they use words that I wouldn't use. And that's how I knew 30 years ago it was them. They used a sentence with me, my guide's illumination of the soul, and I was like, illumination. What could they be speaking of? That was not something I had heard. It's not something not a word I would use. Sometimes they speak to me, I get right off in Google, like, what's that definition? I'll be honest with you. I want to make sure I understand. So that will give you a clue when it's coming into you, not coming from you. Okay? So what's different between a guide and a departed loved one? A departed loved one, all of heaven has to be quiet sometimes. It doesn't matter if it's a guide, an angel, a loved one, doesn't matter. And there's really only 2 reasons why you're not perceiving your departed loved one. And the first one is exactly what I just talked about. They have to allow you to think that you are walking the road alone while they're watching you right next to you, often with a big smile on their faces. Sometimes they put their arms around you, but you won't perceive it. But that's more about the next reason. They're there because there's something you might have to grow, or they're quietly because there's something you have to grow that is required for you to go to the next step in your life. Perhaps you've asked for something and you're not quite ready for it yet. For me, it's been resilience. I've had to grow resilience in order to be ready for my next larger chapter. And guess what? It's working. It's working. I've leveled myself up because of their quiet. And it's not leveling up, forcing things. What I mean by leveling up is that I have what was not my comfort zone before, with social media, for instance, is now easier for me. It's more of a comfort zone. I've let go of procrastinating in a way I had before. I'm now more creative. I'm now feeling more powerful about it. That wasn't there. It was, oh gosh, I can't get on social media. I'm having a bad hair day. I'm not feel natural at it. Now it's, I'm going to get on there with a purple hue, no matter what my hair looks like. If I stumble, I'm still going to provide it. No, it's leveling up. And sometimes it happens with a whisper. Sometimes it happens so subtly that you have to look back on it and go, wait, that happened. I used to be like that. Now I'm not anymore. And I used to feel I couldn't say things on social media. Meaning, I'll tell you, with my work, I felt like it shouldn't be sold. It had to be only from referrals. And then I went, no. I can be a little bit more proactive about that. Why not? So, and it's a gut thing. It's not from desperation. It's not forced. It's not uncomfortable in the stomach. It's not from panic. It's not from fear. It's not from insecurity. It's oh, aha. Why not? And so that is higher source speaking through you. That is yourself opening up to your higher self. Then, so when I told my team, I call them my team now, everyone, you can too. I need a chat. They gave me a chat, helped me to understand why, and then backed up. And then very shortly after that, I don't know that it was the same day, perhaps the next day, I had a little touch on my head when I was in the moment. I was doing some things online because I'm self-employed. In the present moment, creating, preparing, loading, all of that. I felt this little touch. Very brief, but there. And I didn't ask if it was a departed loved one. I didn't ask if it was a guide. I didn't ask if it was an angel. I knew it was one of my team. And I just said, thank you for being here. Thank you. I feel you. Thank you for your support. And so that's so important to do. By the way, gratitude's always important to do, because it just increases gratitude, the blessings. And I felt it just briefly this week. Then it was gone again. Back to the wilderness, back to the quiet, back to the isolation. I'm like back to the transition time where you're between the old chapter and the new chapter, and it's just so quiet. And we all go through those times in our lives. Now, I would tell you that I don't know that it's most of the time, though, when you have to be left alone And it does often come after you've experienced a loss of a departed loved one. First, they'll let you know they're okay. It's like the first 3 days, maybe the first week. They're going to pound you with signs. They're going to let you know that they're energy, that they're out of their body, but they're still alive. And they're comforting you and letting you know they're okay, but also that you're going to be okay too by their signs. But then they'll go quiet. And they have to go quiet because you have to see that you will survive. You have to do it without them physically there or even energetically there. It's not a move on, it's a move forward. So they have to be with you right next to you, but make you think they're far, far away. It's just how it is. And so where are they? They're right there. But you have to feel and think you're going it alone. Now, if you need help to jump in, you always get angels to protect you against harm. Meaning the chance of harm. They protect you against chance taking you or things that are not for your higher path. And loved ones are there helping you too behind the scenes, invisibly. But again, you have to, it's almost like you have to be allowed to take the journey solo, to see that you're capable of what truly you're capable of. You know, sometimes we get so many surprises. I can now do that. I didn't think I could do that before. I have qualities that I'm growing. I have tasks I can do I never thought I would have to do or that I could do. They marvel in that when they watch you while you're going through all the stages of grief. And then the second reason is that you're blocking them. And I think there's a potential that happens most of the time. We're looking too much for them. We're waiting for them. Where are you? There's a veil between us and them. It's right around us. It's not even feet. It's right around us. I always see it like a bit of a gauzy fabric. The fabric can rip open for you to receive them, or it can get thicker and it pushes them back in perception. They're always there, but now you've moved them away from you. And so it's so important to be in the present moment. As you know, no past, no future. In the present moment. That is heaven. That is your tie to intuition. That is your tie to your higher self. When you're in the present moment, you will perceive them because you have ripped the veil. You have removed it. You have joined them. So then you pay attention to, am I being touched? Do I see somebody at the corner of my eye? Do I smell something? Do I hear something? Do I feel someone? That's the moment where they sneak up on you sometimes too. From their back. You're like, oh, I didn't. I just felt someone like come up on me. I've had that happen because I'm in the present moment. And it's not easy to stay in the present moment because we're in a chaotic, well, the 3D material world is full of things that distract us from the present moment, that bring us into the spin. They pummel us. It pummels us. And so, but when you notice it, that you're thinking about the future, what ifs, or you're reflecting on the past, move yourself into the center again. You'll feel more peace. You probably will not feel anxiety or stress or anything like that because it's not located there. It's not in residence there. And so, go there whenever you notice you're not there. And then you have to perceive those around you in some way, shape, or form. Unless they're doing number one. Where you're in the present moment, you still don't perceive them, which is what I go through. I'm right here. Where are you? Why are you missing? And that's, again, if I, it's what Jesus went through at times in the wilderness. At moments, I am connecting to you. Where are you? There's always a higher purpose. There's always a larger picture going on about, again, character, qualities, elevation, leveling up, becoming more, becoming greater. Every time you ask for something, no matter what it is, it's a yes. Like attracts like, though. So if you ask for fear, you get fear. If you ask for love, you get love. And so it's always important to be very cognizant about what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and what you're saying. But also know every prayer is answered yes, and a prayer is what I am putting out. And so know that if you ask for mercy, you get mercy. If you ask to hear from your departed loved ones, it's always a yes, unless it's a temporary override because of the times. But we are never abandoned. Never. All caps, never. Never. So know that. At those times when it's so quiet and so isolated and such a hole, such a crater, you have not been abandoned, because you are loved and you are part of the one consciousness. You are one with all that you are trying to perceive and connect with. So they cannot leave you. They cannot separate and leave material earth and go to heaven and put a wall between you. But we have to make sure that we do not devise that wall. So know, when you're not perceiving, ask yourself, have I asked for something that maybe I'm building to? Or am I blocking them? You will know the answer. And if you get frustrated like I can, because I'm human, you can go to them like I did and say, okay, I didn't even have to tell them I was being tested. They knew. They opened their dialogue with me with, as I said to you, I said, can we have a meeting, please? And they said, so you are being tested right now, huh? They knew exactly why the meeting was being called. They know us inside and out, but no, they don't judge us. We are taught so many myths, so many lies, continuously, for control, to evoke fear. And sometimes just because we don't know it all. And I will tell you, of course, I'm human who doesn't know it all. But I know enough to say to you that you are tremendously loved, and that energy is welcoming, never abandons, always supports, always adores you, always comes around you with mercy, and never judges. Knows you too well to judge, knows who you are, knows how adorable and lovable you are. Even when you weren't taught you are. That energy knows you are. So please keep it in mind during those times of the wilderness. because we all go through it. And it's always when the best is coming, too, by the way. It can happen when the best is coming, not just when you've lost a departed loved one. It can come when you're going through change and you're going into that greater chapter. When you feel, and I've had it, when you're all alone. And it hurts when you're all alone. But try to keep your eye on what may be happening on the game of life. Because every alone time, again, is or really is a gift, a blessing, and it has its own purpose. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that helped in some way, that you were able to connect. Please, if you're on YouTube, please like, subscribe, share. If you are on Facebook, yes, please follow me at my business page, Lisa M. Popp, Spiritual Coach and Medium, and on Instagram too. I'm going to be posting more, as I told you, out of the comfort zone. I am more in the comfort of the discomfort zone. So, Spiritual Coach Lisa Hop on Instagram. I'm also on, of course, on Apple, Spotify, iHeart, wherever I am. Thank you for joining me there. I appreciate you all so very much. And until the next time, many blessings.